This person, I've been watching him on YouTube for about 4 years, and he was so inspiring to me because I've never seen a brother talking about growing virtue, and the angelic forces and what have you, and knew about the herbs and also soaps, and he was just a plethora of information. So I'm happy that the board has listened and also took heed to learn about him, and we welcome him. We're so happy to have him here. So I'm going to give you his bio and tell you a little bit about him. Djehuty Matra was born April 27, 1970 in Los Angeles, California. A year after graduating from South LA Locke High School in 1988, he started his quest of self-studies, self-development, and self-mastery. His quest would eventually lead him to discovering his life purpose as a natural healer. Djehuty has founded several businesses over the years, including Athea Herbaceuticals, D Herbs, a D Health store, and his present business, djehutymatraherbs.com, which is his sole business, exclusively selling all natural products. He personally makes and offers to the public. Djehuty has produced 2 health documentaries, Urban Kryptonite in 2014. How many of you have? Yeah. And also full body detox. In addition to being a natural healer, Djehuty is also a herbalist, a writer, a lecturer, a motivational speaker, a aromatherapist, a metaphysician, a jurisprudence, which means one that's skilled in the law. Okay, I tried. He's also a spiritual counselor, astrologer, a numerologist, a business consultant, a relationship counselor, a New Thought minister, personal development coach, father's rights activist, and a conscious parenting educator. So Djehuty currently resides in Glendale, California. Now I need all of you to get on your feet and stand up so this man does not forget how it was in Sacramento. Djehuty Matra, thank you for coming to Sacramento. We hope you all
Thank you. Thank you, beloved. You all may sit down, please. Thank you. Thank you, Lord.
Is this mic here?
Well, not too high.
Okay.
Unless you guys have difficulty hearing me, I will get louder as I progress. How's the sound? Sounds good?
No, it could be better.
Oh, it could be better too.
It could be
I don't want to eat the mic. How's that?
Yeah.
Better? Okay, good. Okay, first and foremost, I want to thank Bobby and Bianca for the invite on behalf of African Americans for Balanced Health. And I want to thank all of its members, and I want to thank every last one of you for coming out today in support. Thank you very much. I'm very humble. Thank you. I have spoken many places. However, tonight, speaking before a group that is entitled African Americans for Balanced Health means the most to me, because you have the connection of African Americans with the thing that is very dear to me, very important to me, important to everybody, especially here in the capital of the Matrix, and that is health. You have African Americans who are for not just health, but balanced health. Because there are people who eat healthy, but mentally, they're not balanced. Yes. They're not. You have to be balanced. Mind, body, and spirit. And Lord knows, as African Americans, we need to be balanced in all of those. Health is very, very, very important. I do a lot of things, people. I do a lot of things. But I'm telling you, I would not be who I am today, and I would not have done all that I've done without health. I do a lot of things, but health is my baby. It is the most important subject matter of all that I deal with. Health opened up a portal for me. Health saved my life. I don't know if you guys know my story of battling childhood asthma and almost succumbing to so-called asthma. Technically, it was bronchial asthma. Age 12, just graduated from elementary school. And a month later, I'm in a hospital, hearing a doctor tell my mother that I had a 70% chance of dying. That prompted me to have my second deep talk with God. Age 12. The first time was 6, after my beloved auntie committed suicide, and the second time was at age 12, shortly after graduating high school. And I knew I didn't want to die. I didn't consciously know my life purpose, but it just didn't feel right. I had to be here. And it took some time, but I found out why I had to be here, why I had to stay here. And it was to do the work that I do today. And in the field of health. As a little boy, I was very helpful to people who were injured, and I had no idea that I was doing me. This is where astrology comes into play. I am a Taurus. I'm a Taurus the bull, April 24th, 1970. I have Taurus in the 6th house. Now, I'm not going to get off into all the houses, but specifically the 6th house, which corresponds to Virgo, it deals with health, hygiene, work and service, but more importantly, health and hygiene. So I have Sun, skip the Taurus, because the Sun is the energy. It deals with your dominant will. And the houses let you know where that will be done. And for me, it's in the 6th house, it's in health. I have the knack for health and hygiene and well-being. And we all have the knack for things. I don't know where your 6th house may be, but wherever it is, I can guarantee you that you have the knack for whatever that house denotes. Guaranteed. For me, it was health. I just had the knack. I didn't have to go to school for it. I didn't have to go to school for it. I simply had it. I simply had it. And what blew my mind was, you have a black man from South Central Los Angeles, barely graduated from high school, never went to college, learned health on his own, and did something that professional medical doctors could not do. And that was heal myself from bronchial asthma. And even as a little boy, when the doctors were saying that he'll have it for the rest of his life, and I didn't know anything about New Thought or mental science back then, but it just didn't jive with me. And in all due honesty, never embraced it. Never embraced it. He would have it his entire life. And as I progressed and matured in life, and I would think about what the doctor said, I said, who is this sapsucker to tell me? I will be sick for the rest of my life. This is a foreigner. How you gonna tell me about me? As if he is my guy. Yeah, he's a foreigner. Anybody outside of himself is a foreigner, medically speaking. And when I really got conscious in health, it was a wrap. It was over with. 1996. I woke up one day and I made up my mind. I said, you know what? I said, all this BS, all this medical BS, I'm done with it. And this is after I healed myself from bronchial asthma with just 3 herbs, fenugreek, cayenne, and mullein leaf. 2 weeks. I did some other things I won't say because we're eating and the food is still here. But after 2 weeks, I healed myself. I was like Tony Braxton, I could breathe again. Doctors still helped me, you know. Kept studying. And in 1996, I literally woke up one day. I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. Y'all can slip the C note and choke. I'm done. I'm out. It's a wrap. I don't believe in none of y'all stuff no more. All your AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome, done. I don't believe in it anymore. I don't believe in acquiring an immune deficiency. You know, if I'm intimate with a young lady and she's blind, you know, I don't acquire her blindness. You know, I don't. If she have, you know, adverse kidney condition, had no idea, people. It was because of lifestyle. Now, I would say diet and lifestyle, but diet is a part of lifestyle. Right. It's a part of the lifestyle. They're not separate. I said, I'm done. And it was a challenge for me, but I eventually healed myself from the headaches. And medical astrology was helpful there as well, too. Because in the Placidus orb chart, this is a secondary chart that if you research, you'll understand it. It's a secondary chart. And the secondary chart is how we can really put our finger on our major health modality in life. Oh yeah, you know, life is not something that just happens by serendipity. You know, a lot of things are past life, a lot of things are blueprinted that we incarnate with. You know, we get lessons from our pathologies because they're predicated upon actions, incorrect actions. And for myself, it's in Aries. I have Aries in the 6th house. And Aries governs, in medical astrology, the head. I have Saturn in the 6th house. Saturn deals with restriction, disorder, restraint. So I realized I had this Aries thing going on, the head. So that means headaches, it could be neurological problems, it could be Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, anything dealing with the head. And for me, it was the head aches. The headaches. Like I said, I was a BC powder junkie, thanks to my parents who introduced it to me. That's what we did coming up in the 1970s, the Bubble Up, 7-Up, and BC powder. But I didn't know that the BC powder was polluting my blood and was taxing my liver. And had I stayed on it, my eyes would have ended up like my father and his brothers and the rest of the family members. My eyes, the whites of my eyes would have been a brownish yellowish color, which denotes that the liver is severely toxic. But in 1999, it was a wrap. I found out how to heal myself from the headaches. And it was something very basic. It's something that we do or should do every day, 3 times a day if we're eating 3 meals per day. Just going to the restaurant. I mean, I've been a slender cat my entire life. But the real deal was, I was constipated. I was eating death. I was eating foods, so-called foods that lacked enzyme. There was no enzymatic activity. I was a McDoodle burger junkie. I was addicted to Burger King, the 8 soft fish chicken. I won't say that. I won't say that. That's what I used to eat. I thought that was food. It lacked enzymatic activity. And I was constipated. And you know how I know? Something happened to me one day. I came home, this was 1996. This is when I first discovered it. This was 1996. It was re-election night. It was election night, but it was re-election for Clinton. And I was on this radio show. And I wanted to get home to be a guest on this radio show. This radio show came on, I believe, at 9 o'clock. I got home at 7 o'clock. And I had to have a bowel movement. And this particular day, people, I couldn't. It took me 2 hours. And after 2 hours, I gave birth to a 12-foot or 12-inch dog. Not 12 foot, one that long. We use a restroom. We don't look at what comes out of us. We'll look at what goes into us, but we don't want to look at what comes out of us, and understandably so. But I began to use the toilet as a laboratory to look at what's coming out of myself. And I began to experiment on myself. And I knew I was constipated because if I ate corn and black beans, within a certain amount of time, you should, after, having a bowel movement, you should be able to see residues of the corn or the black beans. And, beans digest within hours, so if it takes 3, 4, 5 days to see the corn or black beans, you're constipated. You're supposed to see it just like that. But that's not the case with us. It's not the case with most people. Because most people are constipated. I mean, most people actually have something going on with them, whether they know it or not. But we have been so conditioned to believe that things are normal. I came up as a little boy thinking certain pathologies were normal. My father would talk about high blood pressure running in the family as if high blood pressure got Davis is running, right? It's the Olympics running. Yeah, man, high blood pressure running in the family. I'm a little boy. I'm being programmed. Yeah, man, it runs in the family. Your grandfather had it, your uncle got it, I got it. It runs in the family. So you just got putting 2 and 2 together. Well, damn, hell, I'm gonna have it. How it is for the Coopers. And then one day it just dawned on me. In latter years, I said, Pops told me that while he was cooking. He told me that while he was cooking, technically killing, because the fire was boiling and he was, taking all the life out of what he was cooking. Actually, what he was cooking, he was from Mississippi. He was cooking peanuts. We had this thing he was doing, we would do the boiled or rolled peanuts. And when he told me that about the high blood pressure, he was pouring Morton salt. It's not mortuary, it's Morton. He was pouring some Morton salt, half the box, into the peanuts. Yeah, man, high blood pressure running my family. The sun is going out. Hey, man, run my family. And then I look back on it, I'm like, no, Pops, I love you, but you know what runs in the family? Ignorance. We were some ignorant sapsuckers.
that's what ran in the family. Because in my early years, in my early 20s, I was making the peanuts. I was doing everything that my parents taught me to do. See, what was running in the family was the ignorance passed down. Again, Pops was from Mississippi, and their delicatessen, if you will, was syrup and biscuits. I'm gonna be honest with you. We ate it so much, I haven't had it in 20-something years. I actually refused to eat it simply because we just had it too much. You know, we used to have it as breakfast, then it got to the point of lunch. Sometimes we had it for dinner. I was confused. You know, but we just had it so much. And I remember I was in a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom. Yeah, you know. You got the syrup and biscuits, you got the cow milk. You know we're insane for drinking a cow milk, which is liquid meat, you know, pus, you know. And you got the white Pillsbury dough. It's white, refined, no nutrients. You got that cheap Rare Rabbit syrup, which is nothing but burned sugar. Didn't know about maple syrup. Hell, we couldn't afford maple syrup. All together, people. It's cheap syrup, Rare Rabbit syrup. These white pills, don't get mad at me because I know, you know. I'm just talking too. I give my very good best, you know what I'm saying? You know when it comes to food, you got these predictions, you know, males and females. You know, people, they get on you. I be on Twitter talking about certain people will get on you talking about food. Okay, we will kill religion, we will kill you. So you gotta, you know, be careful. Hey, I'm just expressing. But it constipated the whole family. The whole family, and we only had 1 bathroom. You know, and you know, as a tourist, we're practical. You know, so I've always been a thinker. You know, which will get you in trouble in certain households. It's like people be. If you're doing certain things, why we keep doing it? You know, when you well, shut up. You don't tell you talking. Be quiet. Keep the knowledge, keep the ignorance going. You know, my parents had this weird ritual. See, that's why balanced health is important. It can't just be physical. It has to be mental as well. It has to be spiritual. Okay. My parents had this crazy ritual. I'm a little boy. You know, like we really, I mean, the health is very important, especially for the sake of the children. And I was a little boy, and I could observe certain things, and I knew certain things. And my parents had this crazy ritual where every Thursday, Pops got paid on Thursday, every Thursday. My parents, you know, they would take us out to a restaurant, Pops, Big Boys, or Norms, what have you. Then we'd go to VIP record store and buy the latest, whatever, Gap Band, what have you. Go to Grandma's Sis house, chill there for a while, and then we would head home. But before we head home, they always made an excursion to the liquor store. And for the life of me, I just don't get why black folks, they just don't know the liquor store liquor. It's just, we can't handle it. No good for us. And I know we want to, you know, the whole equality thing that other people do it. Like, we can't handle it. It's not for us. My parents didn't know that. Now, as a little boy, I knew it without knowing it. But they'd make an excursion to raise liquor, get some alcohol, you know, a couple of bottles, crack and beer nuts, what have you, so we listen to the music. And they'll be doing good for about a good 2 or 3 hours until the body was saturated with liquor, AKA also known as intoxicant. Intoxicant. And so around 11, 12 o'clock, like clockwork, you get a record scratch. This is a new record. My mother, she would always start it. She Pisces, Aries, just Pisces, Virgo. Look out, that's. But the record was scratched. MF, what you say? What did you say? You MF this and that. Then stuff started flying. Pictures of knocked down, just crazy. Every Thursday. Like clockwork. I'm a little boy. And I can say to myself, like, you know, every Thursday this go down. Every time they drink this stuff here, this go down. And I'm a little boy, I got it. And I'm like, Pops, why do you keep doing this? Because it was your payday. You were the one going to the store. And worse, you were the one getting busted upside the head. Because my mother wasn't cheap. She was gangsteretta. She was from Compton. And she could be buzzed too. That's what I do. Don't you get it? You must like getting busted upside the head. That's why I say the health has to be balanced. Because mentally, wasn't. And it played a role in my mother's nervous breakdown that came shortly after I was hospitalized for the bronchial asthma. Now, when you deal with balanced health, you deal with that mental aspect. You have to look at the mentality of an individual. Seriously, because, see, most people in America think we just die of degenerative diseases. No. No. There are two movies that get it right. Lost Horizon and Astro City. Those two movies get it right. And they call what happens to us indirect suicide and gradual suicide. And that's what's going on by way of what we eat, by way of what we do, the lifestyle. Spiritual health. It's holistic health. Things have to be balanced, equal. They have to be if you want health. You can't fake the funk. It cannot be unilinear. Can't be. The mind is very, very, very important. That's where health starts at. It starts there. The mental, not the physical, but the mental. And it's actually the key to healing. It is. Not something physical. People think because you're a herbalist and you have alternative to drugs that you have the answer for their pathology. Hey, Mara, what you got? Hey, yo, man, I got this problem here. I'm a dope man now. You know? What you got for me, man? Hey, what you got, man? You know, I know drugs is bad, man, but what you got? You still want something out of a bottle. And cuz you talk about that, you sell the herbs, man. What type of businessman are you? Well, I'm a health minister before I'm a businessman. I have to tell you the truth, man. Healing don't come out of no bottle. And yes, the herb is better than the drug. But the mind is even better. But I know for some people that's a challenge. Because true healing is here. You know, man, every time I do that, man, I end up, you know, feeling this way. But don't do it. I like doing it. Get out my face. That don't make no sense. You gotta stop doing it. And if you like doing it, then there you go. Be quiet. Shut up. Deal with the consequences. Because that's most people. Many people are talking themselves into pathology. Man, I can't stand this damn job. I can't stand it. And the next thing you know, he can't stand up. Right. Something fell on his toe. I can't work, man. You know, I'm on disability. What happened? Oh, plane fell on my feet, man. After all, you said you couldn't stand the job, so can't stand up, can't work. There you go. You spoke it into existence. Right. Hey, man, my damn neck. And the next thing you know,
neck pain. Oh, my neck, I slept on the wrong side of what happened. You're speaking it into existence. We're speaking it into existence via words. This is the mental aspect of health, people. You have to watch your words. I'm sick of it. Make me sick to my stomach. And you got stomach problems. Pain in the neck. I can't stand looking at you. Now your eyes tripping. It's mental. Mental health. And it's a challenge for a lot of people. I catch a lot of slack. It's not easy being a herbalist. Especially in our community. Not easy. Because people are addicted to bad things. God damn, man, you can't do nothing. What can I eat? Everything is bad. You say all the meat got worms in it. But damn, if they any meat that ain't got no worms. Like, no, gee, all meat got worms in it. And now the choice is on you. It's on you. You can eat it or you cannot eat it. That takes you right back to the mental. Are you in control of your mental? You know, it's like being called and being cursed out. Like, what do I do? I was trying to eat my off. You ain't got no willpower to turn me off? It's my fault. See? Because when you deal with mental health, you're dealing with the willpower. See, a lot of people got weakened willpower, undeveloped willpower. You know, willpower. I was at work at this place in Glendale, and the white women there, they taught me a lot, especially about willpower. They didn't have willpower over what they put in their mouths, and that was mind-boggling to me. They were going in the kitchen, and first of all, that's where all the goodies were, all the little seeds, candy, you know, chocolate coated wrapped feces and all that little good stuff. Milk, cow snot, chocolate, you know, all, like, don't go in there. You know, that's how I am. Just don't go in there. You know what's going to happen if you go in there. Like, don't walk down the street. You walk down the street, then you know it's going to be shot. Don't go down that way. Don't do it. It's simple. But no. No developed willpower. So they go for all the goodies, you know. Chocolate coated rat feces, liquefied cow snot. You go in there and you just. And it will freak me out because then they will start screaming and acting crazy. Oh, all the calories and all this. Why did you eat it? It just doesn't make any sense. They would scream and go off. And then they would get mad at me. I envy you. You're skinny. Look at you. I bet you can eat anything. You don't have to worry about gaining any weight. True. But I didn't just eat anything. Not then. I've had my days. I was, you know, that shitburger back in the day from McDougalburg. I was addicted. Got one every day when I got home. Them snot gadahs, I mean the hot gadahs. Every day after work. And that's what's wrong with us. We have this bad stuff every day as treat. We don't do it on the weekends anymore. Right. Back in the 70s, you know, you could go to the burger joint, the ice cream center. That was the weekends. You know, during the week, you know, we ate the soul food and, you know, really wasn't the best, but still, it was better than what we were doing, you know, as far as the junk food, what have you. But something happened in America where it's like, man, the hell with the weekend. We're not waiting for the weekend, but on a treat. You know, I don't even deserve a treat, but I need one because I'm beat down, I'm stressed out, right? You know, I'm depressed. I ain't got love, I ain't got no money. My life is just tore up. I want to feel good. Because we deal with that mental part of health, we're also dealing with words. Okay, and that's going to tie us into the emotional aspect of health. There is a correlation between emotions and taste.
right? Sugar sweet. And, oh, you're so sweet. My grandmother, boy, come give me some sugar. Yeah. For affection. Give me some affection, boy. Salt, wow, he's pretty salty. And we don't put stuff together, we just pour salt. Yeah. Salt. But you can feel salty. He's so sour. Why you gotta be sour about it? You got the connection. And then you have that emotional aspect. Still doing the mental ties into the emotional, but then you got that aspect. You know, you ain't got love in your life. You know, so you're gonna get you some secondary love. You know, from a box of dry snot cream, ice cream. You call it ice cream. You know, a whole box of I don't need a man. All I need is this. Make another secondary. See, I'm trying to get you some sweetness, because your life ain't sweet. So you get it from a secondary source. And it ain't just women, hell, men do it too. Right. I had my days, you know, Kit Kat, and Mars, you know, I went down to Bliss, all barrel, all type of stuff. People like, huh, my chicken like that, it was a chunky, it was a York peppermint patty, archaic type stuff. The stuff your pops had issues with, had little addictions to them, because certain things were going on in life, you see. But when you work on becoming balanced, all these things go away, people. They really go. I mean, I was a toe-up cat. I mean, my life right now, I'm in a process like, you know, I'll kind of dodge. I don't say run, but just, you know, kind of get out of dodge, right? The demand is just really crazy. But what people don't know is I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always like this. I ate horrible. I didn't question anything. You know, I ate whatever I wanted to eat. You know, I didn't really know what breakfast meant to break the fast. I didn't know. I was out of my mind. You break a fast with water, right? You fast and you break the fast. Sorry, when you have a water fast, you break the fast with food. I was crazy. I would break the fast with flapjacks and waffles and pancakes and grains. Crazy. You didn't know no better. Lunch. I didn't have no time frame for it. Dinner, the heaviest meal before I'm going to bed, and I'm wondering why I'm sleeping on my stomach. Because of the distress, eating heavy, too late at night, and nobody ever taught me. So I'm not knowing. I get a headache, I just take some aspirin. Never mind that it's thinning my blood, never mind that. Never mind that it's eating up the myelin sheath of the nerve, never mind that. You know, never mind that it's burning a hole in the intestines, never mind that. Never mind. Got a headache. I'm going to take aspirin. But one thing I didn't know back then, I was taking the aspirin, people, is no part of my body is made up of aspirin. No part of it. During that time of the month, the ladies experience what they call the female discomfort, that time of the month. So they'll take Midol. But there's no part of the female reproductive chamber made up of Midol. There's no part of your body made up of Viagra. No part of your body is made up of Pepto-Bismol. But yet and still, mental, see, balanced health, mental is the most important aspect. More important, we're taking stuff where there's no biocompatibility. None whatsoever. And then you wonder why we get sick. You wonder why we have the mental disease. You wonder why. And even for people of the book, Revelation 22:2, the leaf shall be for the healing of the nations. But then you take a drug. That sounds like hypocrisy to me. Ezekiel 47:12, the leaf is the medicine, not the drug. Not the drug. The leaf. If you look up the word drug, it comes from a word, an old French word, drogue, which means dried plant. So the original drug is herb, or the herb. Yeah, I just said, well, wait, some people, they associate it with weed. They be only about that weed, boy. They be only about that weed, boy. I like that. Don't get mad. You gotta have your weed. The life is stressful, and you know, anytime you gotta get high every day, you gotta really check yourself. You know, like Curtis Mayfield wrote a song called "Natural High." That's the type of high I have, a natural high. Anytime you gotta do weed every day, you gotta get high every day. I gotta get high. You's a low self-sucker, you low. You know, you got somebody against being high. I am high. I don't have to get high. You have to get high when you're low. And the question is, why are you low? Why do you feel low?
Right.
Oh, come on, man, let's go get our head bad. It's like, what? Dude, you this color and you talking about want to get your head bad? No, it doesn't make any sense. You're out of your mind. You see? We're talking mental health here. You're out of your mind. So before I conclude, because time is of the essence, and even though you're dealing with mind, body, spirit, I dealt with the mental aspect more so on purpose, because everything starts with the mind, your mental health. And you don't have to take tangible things such as herbs, people. Okay? When we deal with the mind, we're talking meditation. Okay, we're talking music. Okay, soothe the mind. Okay, we're talking color therapy. Seeing certain colors. You know, you mad, you need to start using your mind to see blue. Because blue pacifies. It's calm. You know, maybe you need to kind of be perked up, and maybe you need to start seeing red. You know. So we're talking the power of the mind in being balanced. And Lord knows, as a community, as a people, we need that. Big time. We do, man, I don't know how to go like the whole time. But if you watch the videos on this channel, here we're just dropping the ball. And we got to get it together here, first and foremost. Okay? And even though I'm not dropping on it tonight, spiritual health. I want you guys to look into something called the entheogens, which are the inversions of drugs. Okay? And the entheogens are available. And the entheogen means to awaken the divine force within. Drugs do the opposite, but the entheogens, that'll get the job done. The depression, the neurological pathologies that have you, the entheogens are the key.
Can
And
you
then
spell that for us?
that is spelled E-N-T-H-E-O-G-E-N. And then, but the exercise is very important, including the anti-gravity exercise. Okay, movement. Even if you don't go to the gym, movement. We gotta move. Every day is like the animals in the wild. And we gotta eat the good foods. Okay? And then the herbs replace the drugs, and we're good to go. Okay? Do your own research, people. Mental health, spiritual health, physical health, herbs, entheogens, alkaline water, whatever just comes to mind. Do your own research to reclaim your health. Okay? So that you and I can be African Americans with and for balanced health. Thank you. Next, let me check the time here. Probably 9:59. So what's the? What are you looking as far as the time to call? I think I got it at 11, so we might have 15 minutes.
9, yeah.
it would be appropriate to take these 30 minutes to do Q&A, question and answers for people who may have questions, and if not, oh, okay, so hands going up, so it is appropriate that we take the next 30 minutes to do some Q&A. You can ask me any question. Doesn't have to be about health. It could pretty much be about anything, and I will do my best to answer it. So, because time is of the essence, let's take some questions, and I will do it by a show of hands. First hand first, which is you.
Hi, my name is Angela.
Great,
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
My pleasure.
I have a question when you were speaking on the 2 movies.
Yes.
Well, I'm one of those people where, yes, really, I'm going to do my research. Homework. You said one was Lost Horizon, and what was the other movie?
Astro City.
Oh, what?
Astro City. It's a spiritual metaphysical film. You may have to go on Amazon to order that, but it is a great movie, and I don't, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but it is about a man who he transitions, but is predicated upon health, and the angelic nurses let him know that it wasn't because of a earthly disease, it was because of gradual suicide. That's why I brought the movie up, because of that right there. It was gradual suicide. The dude was so confused, you know, like, no, I didn't kill myself. You know, like in my heart, I think it's heart burst or something, heart attack, what have you. But it was suicide. He killed himself. The way he was smoking and drinking and eating crazy. Awesome. Astro City. The other one was Lost Horizon. Great movies. I was telling a woman over here that, actually with Bobby, that Lost Horizon was made in 1937. It's black and white. Frank Coppola did it. Excellent movie. It's a classic. Lost Horizon. Lost Horizon, people, and Astro City. Okay, my pleasure. Beloved.
My name is Saeed Chef, and I want to know what you think about taking pilots every day.
Taking what?
Pilots.
Beef propolis?
Cactus.
No pilot, no pilot.
Oh, Noble Cactus. Prickly. Correct?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's great for so-called diabetes. It's great for so-called obesity. It's a very powerful plant. Very powerful. And yes, you can take it every day because it's food. Yeah, it's food. And if you take it as a supplement, a so-called supplement, it's best to take it 45 minutes before or after a meal. But yeah, Noble Cactus is awesome. Yes. Okay, next question. Beloved.
You said something about undeveloped willpower.
Undeveloped willpower, yes. A good movie that's going to help you out about willpower is Green Lantern. Came out a few years ago. Very good movie about the power of willpower, the development of willpower. Green Lantern. It came out a few years ago. Yeah, I'm big into movie. I do something called conscious movie watching. And I use movies to decipher messages to share with people, to help people understand what's going on in life. Because that's where a lot of the mysteries are contained in the movies. And I decipher movies. I purchase movies and I decipher them. As a little boy, I thought Siskel and Ebert had the world's greatest job to watch a movie and get paid for it. And so, you know, when I grew up and was able to put myself in a financial position to purchase movies and get free and have time to watch them, that's exactly what I decided to become, a spiritual metaphysical Siskel and Ebert. But, you know, to extract messages pertaining to life to share with people. But Green Lantern. Developing the will, mental science. Mental science is key. Very important. Yes, beloved, then I'll get you next. Yes.
I have 2 questions and I'll ask
Yes.
one afterwards. What do you think of, do you think there are illnesses or things out there that actually need medication?
Could you repeat that, please?
Do you think there are things out there, illness, what it may, that actually needs medication?
Do I think the door is open so cars drive by, so I'm not able to, I'm missing?
We got these. Look closer.
Do you believe that there's actual things, illnesses, so forth, that actually does need medication?
Illnesses that does need medication? It depends on
you should take a prescription for it.
No, no prescriptions whatsoever. Because again, the human body is not made of a foreign substance. So they tell women to take iron. And that is true, but you have to have the right type of iron, okay? Because there's nothing that exists in a monostructured state. And biocompatibility is very important. So yes, we do have to take iron, but nature gave us two types of iron. So we have iron in the plant, we have the burdock, we have the dandelion, we have the devil's claw, we have the alfalfa, we have the moringa. So we have the iron in the plant, but then we also have iron ferrous fumarate, which is rusted railroad tracks. Okay, and so you're dealing with Dr. Frankenstein here in the white coat. And like, give you some iron. Well, if it's iron, you need iron, but it's not the right type. And if you don't know any better, then you're going to be taking rusted railroad tracks. Exactly. And then you're going to wonder why, you know, you're cold and, you know, your neck is itching and all type of crazy stuff, which are side effects. But if you take the burdock and you take the dandelion, take the yellow dock, the moringa, and the baobab and all that, you're good to go. The red raspberry leaf, you're good to go. You're getting organic iron so that oxygen can piggyback on it. But you can't do what iron ferrous fumarate, which is toxic and creates constipation because it does not act accordingly with sulfur. So you get constipation, gas, and that. Everything you hear the women talk about, which is why they don't take iron. My doctor told me to take iron, but I don't take it constipated. There's a reason why. Okay, does that suffice?
Yeah.
Your second question?
It does.
You said you had two.
You actually.
Oh, okay, cool. Beloved.
Yeah, have you developed a
Oh yes, I have something called a personalized meal plan, okay? However, you have to give me some time on it because I'm dealing with a lot going on right now. So people do order it, and it is taking about a week and a half for me to get back. I send you an email, a questionnaire, and you send that back to me, and based upon that, I email you a personalized meal plan. Because everybody is an individual and have a different lifestyle. There's no general lifestyle. Some people work night shift, do graveyard shift. You know, other people, you know, do their whole linear type thing, 9 to 5, what have you. You know, some people do breakfast, some people don't do breakfast. Some people do breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning. Some people do it at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's individualized. I think that's the best way to help people. Okay, next question on. Next question, beloved.
Mr. Monroe, I want to thank you personally for coming out here. I want to thank you for the knowledge and all that you do for the people. My question is, can you speak on bee pollen and royal jelly?
Okay, thank you for your words. Bee pollen and royal jelly. Most are going to see vegans consuming because they consider, even though the bee is an insect, they consider, you know, an animal. But when we talk about nutrition, bee pollen most definitely ranks, okay, high in the category of a full spectrum food. So we're talking 55%, you know, absorbable, assimilable protein. It's very important. Everybody talk about protein, but all protein that is consumed is not being assimilated by the body. Bee pollen is a protein that the body can assimilate, but we're talking vitamins, we're talking minerals, we're talking trace elements, we're talking enzymes. I mean, bee pollen is a very powerful substance. It can actually serve as a person's daily multivitamins and minerals. 12 capsules, 15 capsules. It's food. It's food. The royal jelly is actually the food that the worker bees make for the queen bee, which is why the queen bee will live 32 times the life duration or span of the worker bees. So we're dealing with a very, very powerful, very mystical substance that is made specifically for long life duration. It just happens to be for the queen bee. But when human beings take it, it's going to help revitalize the body and energize the body. Bruce Lee was big on royal jelly. You have a lot of martial artists, a lot of athletes who know about royal jelly and consuming it every day. and it helps to energize them. It's going to revitalize the body, but more importantly, it's going to energize. So bee pollen, bee propolis, royal jelly, some good stuff. The third one, you didn't, ask about it, but I'm going to, volunteer the information, and that's bee propolis. And it's one of the most potent substances for so-called viruses, especially so-called genital herpes. So anytime there's a viral infection, think of bee propolis. And if you can get them all together, royal jelly, bee pollen, and propolis, you got a serious combination of a superfood. A serious combination of superfood all mixed together. You can also find royal jelly in a freeze-dried form as well too, which means it's a powder. So you can bee pollen, powder, royal jelly, freeze-dried as a powder. And then you have propolis also as a powder. You mix them all together. Take that every day, yeah, you'll notice the difference. But again, vegans may, they want to embrace it because, strict vegans, again, because they see the bee as an animal. But, vegetarians, people on alternate diet, they would do well on bee pollen and royal jelly, and even propolis. Urine therapy is a very effective therapy if it's done right. You don't have to have or use a lot of urine. You just need a few drops of your urine in a vial with water, distilled water, alkaline water, and you agitate it for a good 10 to 15 minutes. It is your urine. When we deal with urine therapy, it's nobody else's urine. It's from your body. And you can take that, daily or once a week or what have you, and it's going to manufacture potent antibodies. It recognizes your individual chemical makeup, so no matter what's going on with you, it's a very powerful medicinal. Very powerful. I'm actually pro urine therapy. A lot of people trip on that because they say urine therapy. Urine therapy is some very, very, very powerful stuff. Yeah, very powerful. But yeah, I am pro urine therapy, knowledgeable about it. I got off into it in 1999 or 2000, and nothing but benefits. Nothing but benefits. So yeah, pro urine therapy. Beloved?
But isn't that toxins that are coming out of your system in your urine and relatively decent? Aren't those toxins coming out?
Well, like I said, you're only using a small, minute portion of it. But no, a lot of people think that your refuse is just toxin. That's not true. You also have minerals. You actually have a unique form of minerals that we don't even get through, a vitamin mineral intake. Sometimes you see a dog eating feces. It's making up for something called pica, which is nutritional deficiency. So in our refuse is minerals. You take women like the menstrual blood. It's not just blood. It's a lot of nutrients that didn't make the grade that's in the blood. This is why you have PMS, because you have a lot of calcium that goes out. It goes down from the brain to that part of the body to help with the process. Calcium is nature's tranquilizer. It calms you down. So a lot of times you'll see women that suffer from so-called PMS, premenstrual syndrome, where they, talk to the hand and attitude and all of that. It's like the calcium, they're not calm. Because women start losing their calcium 10 days before the cycle hits. Okay, and if they lose a lot of calcium, then you're not trying to be around, But the point is there's no like urine is not just refuse. We're talking nutrients. And
plasma from the blood?
Exactly. There's a great book called You're in Trouble. But it's urine. It's a deep book. And it also talks about, why African Americans fail drug tests. It goes up to urine therapy. It's deep. You start dealing with the blood plasma, you start dealing with the nutrients, the antibodies. It's a deep subject. And it's worth the read. You're in trouble. I'm unable to recall the author, but the name of the book is You're in Trouble. I've met a lot of people. They're like, oh, no, it's just bound and cool. But really, the proper way is to take the urine and take a dropper and fill it up and just put a few drops in water in the base of alkaline or distilled water. And you don't need a lot of it.
Okay.
You know, with natural thing, you don't need a lot of it at all. And you just have to agitate it for a good 10, 15 minutes. And then, you know, consume it, you're good. You know the difference.
Okay.
And there's different, you know, modalities. Some people like, no, I just straight. And then you also have to think about as well, too, the urine is not supposed to be yellow. It's supposed to be clear.
Right.
That's why a lot of people have a problem with urine therapy, because it's like, this stuff smells like ammonia, it's yellow, it's the color of orange juice, and that's what doesn't, you know. And then that kind of gets back to what you're talking about. That's because people are toxic. Right. You see, but when you're living a life, your stools float. They don't look like regular stools. You know, they're not mushy, they don't break apart, what have you. You know, I mean, they're very unique looking, and they float. Bubbles come out, they light because they're the result of life. They don't sink like a submarine, what have you. So a lot of people miss that fact, and the urine is orange and yellow because we're not absorbing. You know, you take synthetic vitamins and minerals, then you go urinate, and your urine is the color of Tang or orange juice or something like that. It's toxic. You're peeing out what you consume. When you take herbs, you start eating bananas and oranges, raw foods, your urine will be clear. And ignoramuses of the world will tell you that, oh, something wrong with you, your urine is supposed to be yellow. No, it's not. They'll tell you that, oh yeah, feces are supposed to stink and smell. No, it's not.
So the urine also takes on the form of watermelon juice or cantaloupe juice?
It don't matter. It's going to be clear. You take herbs and the urine is going to be clear. Okay, but you drink a soda pop, eat fried chicken, and just cook food, processed food, it's going to be yellow. It's going to have a smell, a stench. And if you're really acidic, there's going to be a lot of bubbles in your urine. A lot of bubbles. That means you're very, 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 very acidic.
Okay.
A lot of people have very acidic urine. And if you don't get that urine out, you're going to have kidney failure. You're going to succumb, just like Esther Roll of Good Times, Florida Evans. Kidney failure. Too much acid. Acidosis. Acidosis. Good luck. Well, I have to answer the treat, because we don't want to treat the fibroids, because the treat is something good. So you don't want to, like, hey, fibroid, hey, let's go to the movies. So there we go. So we want to knock out, we don't want to manage disease. You know, tell me, how do you manage genital herpes? That's like, how do you manage a crazy person? I'm in a relationship with this crazy dude. How do I manage? You don't want to manage. Right. Yeah, exactly. You want to just, yeah, you straight and bounce. You know, so so you want the fibroids gone. And I'll tell you, prevention is better than remedy. You know, so the best thing to do is to prevent the fibroids from developing in the first place. And it's very challenging here in the capital of the matrix because of the diet. And the number one thing that develops and feeds the fibroids is the dairy products. As a cow's snot, we talk about the cheese, the booger, the butter, we're talking about the sour cream, the snot cream, and just everything from a cow. Okay, and then the meats, of course, you know, the chicken, steak, bacon, and then the refined grains, you know, and the American women, they love the breads. They love the bread, the bagels, and the donuts, and the cookies, and all of that stuff. They put it all together, the dairy, the meat, all of that stuff there, and you're not eliminating. The body has to put it in a tumor so it don't circulate in the blood and kill you. But we keep on eating the same bad stuff, and the tumor keeps growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And I mean, I saw a woman in Atlanta last year, 2 years ago. I thought I was blown away. And she was carrying the tumor like she was giving birth to a fibroid tumor. It was mind-blowing. But you can't heal from fibroid tumor. If you guys watch Full Body Detox, the movie, there's a young lady in the movie, her name is Kaya Mara. And Kaya Mara, this woman has just overcome so many medical odds. It's crazy, you know, having one uterus, having a baby because they said that she wasn't conceived, to having fibroid tumors that she got rid of with her. Now they don't shrink overnight, but it do take some time because you didn't develop the tumors. You know, I'm not saying that you have them, but just speaking that way, that people don't develop them overnight, you know, in time. But nature, God's ratio to healing is 10 to 1. So if somebody had a disease for 10 months, nature, God says, give me 1 month. You know, if you've been suffering from genital herpes for 7 years, all you need is 7 months to heal. So you can always find mercy dealing with God. You always want to find mercy dealing with nature. And the same thing with fibroid tumors. They're going to come out through the yoni. They're going to come out through your vagina. You know, you're going to eliminate, defecate, things like that, but they're going to come out through the yoni. They're going to dissolve. So your golden seal and, you know, your burdock, your yellow dock, you know, those alterative herbs going to bust up those tumors. And then you put the magnets, start wearing the magnets, because the magnets alkalize the body. Start wearing the magnets on the side of the, if you have ovarian tumors, you put them over, you put the magnets over the ovaries, okay, where the ovaries are underneath the skin, okay, and then like for the uterus, you just put it across the belly button, maybe 5 to 6 magnets, high Gauss magnets, 6,000, 9,000, 12,000 Gauss magnets to alkalize the body, because the fibroid tumors are acidic, and alkalinity neutralizes the acidity, and that's how you'll heal from the fibroid tumor. Getting massage as well too. Consuming the ozol, the ozonated olive oil. That's a whole bunch of stuff you can do, but I've seen women pass those tumors like it ain't nothing because they develop a regimen, a daily regimen, and they change the diet. I mean, you know, in this society, it's the good tasting stuff that is bad, and it's because of the chemical manipulation. It's all about the chemicals. You remove the chemicals, this stuff don't taste good. The chemical capital is in New Jersey, by the way. You know, people are like, yo, man, they make a strawberry soda. And it's like, if you look at the ingredients, you don't see strawberry. He's like, yo, there's strawberries in there. So, like, it's strawberry soda, but it has artificial flavor, and it ain't got no strawberries in it. You know, so we be all messed up with, like, with the chemicals. You know, action is all messed up, you know. So people don't even want the real smell because of the chemical. You know, you use body care lotion and everything, coconut and strawberry. It's all synthetic. They don't use the real fruit. You see, when you start using, you know, essential oils and herbs, what have you, then you got the real fruit, and then your olfaction opens up. You know, but there's a host of things you can do. Okay, beloved.
Talk a little bit about the kinds of foods you need to prevent Alzheimer's.
Talk about preventing Alzheimer's. The number one thing that causes the development of Alzheimer's. Now, there's always the whole metaphysical karma, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to deal with 3D existence, all right, being here physically. And then the number one causative factor is aluminum. Is aluminum. You know, we've been doing a lot of aluminum here in America. It took off after World War II. We were doing the TV tray, TV dinner. We had aluminum foil. We're just doing it, you know, every single day. And then we also have the Teflon, you know, non-stick pots, and you know. I used to wash the dishes as a little boy, and you see like the little scratches and stuff, you know, but you never thought of like, where's it going? Because you know, you got the chicken, the semen oven, or the scrambled eggs, and you stirring, and you scratching, you know, and where's the residue going? You know, it's in the food, and then you consume that food, and it travels in the bloodstream, and it makes its way up to the brain because aluminum has an affinity for the brain. That's why the greatest herb for preventing and healing from Alzheimer's is gotu kola. Yes. Favorite food of the elephants. It's not just a herb that just, you know, enhances cognitive, you know, functioning, you know, improving memory, what have you. It is great for countering Alzheimer's because gotu kola has an affinity for aluminum, so it attracts the aluminum unto itself and pulls it out of the body. It operates like activated terminal. Gotu kola, G-O-T-U-K-O-L-A, like cola. Gotu, kind of like gotu, but it's, yeah, gotu kola. Great, great.
For dementia?
What is that, for dementia? It's the same thing, you know. I may talk a lot about herbs, but herbs are part of a lifestyle, okay? When you start dealing with dementia and neurological, adverse neurological conditions, it's because, number one, lack of oxygen. See, the head is the highest part of the human body, and we got this thing called gravity. So the first thing that shows a sign of degeneration is the head. okay? Because the head is higher than the heart. That's why the Bible says, renew thy youth like the eagle. Because if you look at the eagle, study the eagle, when the eagle is flying, it flies with its head lower than its heart. And that goes to the anti-gravity, okay? So you're dealing with revitalization, rejuvenation, youth, you know, retardation of the aging process. So you have the eagle as that symbol for renewing your youth. Renew thy youth like the eagle. So because the head is above the heart, you're not going to have a problem getting oxygen up into the heart. But after the heart, you're going to start having the difficulty, especially when the lifestyle is degenerate. And so the first thing that's going to go, or the first thing that's a sign of so-called old age, is the head area. So the eyes get bad. You're like, I can't see as good as I used to. Let me get my glasses before I do so I can sign this check here or read or what have you. You know, say that again. I can't hear you. My ears getting bad. You know, and you know, you get teeth problem. You know, then the hair. The first signs of degeneration of the human body is the head. It's because of that reason. So oxygen is the key, because oxygen is the fuel of the brain. And then the herbs, man, the green tea, the gotu kola, the ginkgo, the loba, the guarana. You know, a lot of people trip on the guarana because that's caffeine, but it's bioactive caffeine. It's balance, you know. It's not going to give you the jitters, what have you. So it's your guayusa, also a biocaffeine type of herb that's going to be great for the brain. And that's how you prevent dementia. And oxygen, drinking oxygenated water, you know, alkaline oxygenated water, yoga, breathing, you know, those type of things, not just the physical things, there's a host of things we can do. Okay, beloved back there, we got about 5 minutes, people, because it's 10:25, okay? Ma'am, you, and then I'll get you. Okay. Yes, okay. No problem.
What do you think about the inversion board or inversion table to the head area?
You mean like anti-gravity?
That inversion. I've been doing research on it.
Yeah. Technically, it's called anti-gravity. They have mats. They have mats where, you know, the feet is higher than the head. Some people just, you know, they'll stand, you know, on the wall or on the couch with the legs propped up, what have you. It's beneficial because, you know, we're fighting against gravity every day. You know, you got people working skyscrapers every day, and gravity's pulling on that prostate, it's pulling on the uterus, and you got uterine prolapse, it's pulling on the organs. And what's amazing is it only takes 15 minutes per day to undo the detrimental effects of gravity for the whole day. 15 minutes per day. Wow. It's 15 minutes per day. And you can get those boards are available, slant boards. Yeah. Age in Reverse is a company that sells the slant board. They have the blow-up ones, and they also have the solid ones. AgeInReverse.com. AgeInReverse.com. You can get you a nice slant board, you know, $89. The solid material ones are, you know, $200-300 something. But nevertheless, they are available and they do work. And I've had one for like 15 years. And they work 1 to 15 minutes a day, people. 15 minutes a day. You know, and you can do your yoga, your chakra balancing. While I used to sleep on one.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I used to sleep on one because you look at babies, you know, babies, there's a reason why babies, the baby head is down and the tush is sticking up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's like the eagle. Renew thy youth like the eagle, you know, the head is lower than the heart. Yeah. It's natural, you know, but as we know, the more adulterated we become and become adults, we lose certain things. I don't want to make people feel bad by being adults because in my world, adult is just an adulterated being or pure. But when they become adults, it's a different story. So, and I'm pro Age in Reverse anti-gravity. Okay, I think we can take one more
just use the seesaw
question.
I got one quick.
Okay, somebody says about seesaw.
Yeah, like a chow. I just use the seesaw.
You use the seesaw for what?
Elevation.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I got you.
Like a chow.
Exactly.
I have to ask real fast about Dr. Seavey. I heard somewhere a lot of, people, herbalists and stuff are, you know how much money is being made in the pharmaceutical industry. Herbalists are being,
well, I know what you want. Seavey put himself in a position that made it easy for him to be taken out.
Right.
You know, I don't know why this was the second time Savvy traveled all that money. There are plenty of ways and I'm not faulting him,
Right.
you know, because nobody should be murdered over transporting money, but at the same time, too, there are ways to move money. So you cannot put, like, I don't put myself in a position that's going to allow me to be taken out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what Savvy did on some business stuff, that to put him in a position that made it easy for him to be taken out. Medical liquid assassination. Same thing, you know, James Earl Ray, same thing with Johnny Cochran, Jim Keith. That's the new way of assassination.
Johnny Cochran?
Liquid. Yes.
It wasn't a brain tumor.
No, not a brain tumor. You do the research. They'll tell you that the operation was successful, but he died. Yeah. You studied. Oh yeah, medical liquid assassination, Johnny Cochran. Oh yeah, Jim Keith. There's a whole list of people. Like Marilyn Monroe, they gave her a fatal enema. You know, so.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix. I read about Jimi Hendrix.
Well, they actually flooded his lungs with wine.
Right.
Yeah, he drowned in wine.
Right. They did it.
So,
they took him out.
Yeah, government agents who dressed up as paramedics and took him out in the ambulance truck. So it's deep. Bob Marley, his shoes had a coil in it, you know, with a liquid substance. That was cancer. Of course, Prince, Michael Jackson. It's all. So somebody asks about drugs. I'm like, you never take drugs. Drugs kill.
Exactly.
Drugs kill. You know. So even if you believe the official story, it's drugs.
Yeah.
It's drugs. You know. So from Heath Ledger, drugs. Bruce Lee, drugs.
Exactly.
Elvis Presley, drugs. It's drugs. Okay. Beloved. That's a good question. I'm like this. I'd be like, you study me. I deal with so much in my life, dude. Like, I'm just a magnet for, you know, wounded people to get healed. You know, and it's a lot in dealing with them, so it stops a lot. So you have the herbalism course, the business course, the legal course, you know. But it just be a lot. It's a lot. So I would say that in the future, if that is coming, it will most definitely be in the future. I did in the past, you know, but just dealing with so much sorting so much out now. I don't, you know, teach right now. Consultations are probably about the only thing that I do. Phone consultations. I don't do in-person consultations. The last person who came to me was Gavin Long, who was accused of the cops in Louisiana. And that made me think. I was like, yeah, there's just too much stuff going on, because Gavin proposed to stay with me in California, and had Gavin resided with me and killed those 3 cops. I don't believe Gavin killed those cops. I believe those cops were murdered, and Gavin was a Manchurian candidate. But it would have been over with for me. I would have always been linked to that. I can make these products here and make them available, you know, to the people, because it's a cold game. You know, I was talking to some ladies. It's a cold game. It's rough with me. My business is very rough because of the knowledge and because of how I do things. And I make these products the way nobody's going to make them. Okay, and it's time consuming. It's not quick. Microwave oven. It's you're in the lab, and you know, and you got ingredients that's just not readily available to society. You know, and then you infusing the energy. You got to really sit them on the crystals. There's a process. That's why they're so potent. And to mass produce that and deal with the people, it's too much. Yeah, it's too much. So it's almost kind of like an underground type of thing in order to protect it and to stay on the scene. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna take questions until Bobby then kick me off the stage. Okay. Colloidal, the pros and cons of colloidal silver. Colloidal silver has benefits, but I would recommend ionic silver over the colloidal silver. But colloidal silver is good for your parasites, your worms, what have you. And the research is there. The research is there. I'm just more into ionic silver more so than colloidal, because colloidals are very effective, especially for parasites and worms, because the body cannot absorb a colloid. It's too big for to penetrate the cells. Okay, so colloidals don't work on a cellular level. They work on an ionic level. So because the colloid stays in the blood, that's how they can counter, that's how it can counter your parasites and worms. But ionic is actually going to get in the body because silver is very beneficial as a mineral, as is gold, which is an oxygen transporter. Yeah, so colloidal silver, it's good, especially for parasites and worms, so-called viral infections. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, they're going to keep me off the stage because I was supposed to end 5 minutes ago. So, so they're coming now. So, you know, that's going to officially do it, people.